Hello YouTube, my name is Bookie and I am back. I'm sorry that I have been gone for like 2 or 3 months, but I had a lot going on. And at some point I'm going to talk to you all about that. But today I am back with a book review on the book There'll Never Be a Story of Forgiveness by Thomas DeBarge. Now what made me read this book was the fact that Thomas DeBarge died toward the end of last year. And as you can see from my previous videos, I did 2 book reviews on two of his sister's books. And his sister's name is Bunny DeBarge. So I decided to also do his. And what I learned from the story is that some things him and Bunny things she said in her book did not agree with some of the things he said in his book. Like, now, I'm not sure I'm remembering this correct, but I remember in her book, she said that her mother's side of the family was against their mother, 𝔹𝕠𝕠𝕜𝕚 DeBarge, marrying Robert DeBarge. Now, when I read Thomas' book, Thomas said that his maternal grandmother instantly, started liking Robert DeBarge. And then 𝔹𝕠𝕠𝕜's siblings gradually started liking him. So I don't know if you want to say it's similar to what Bunny said or what, but in his book, he said that Grandma Betsy quickly liked Robert DeBarge. Then it goes into how, where his book goes into how their dad, Robert DeBarge, he was fired from a lot of jobs because he was married to a black woman. And Tommy, he felt like when his dad was nice to him, it was not genuine. Because he said that they would go out and his dad, would act like a loving father. But then when they'd be at home, he'd be mean to him. Thomas DeBarge also said that he even believed that, well, he didn't believe, but his dad told him that he was not his real father. Now that right there, what kind of dad would do that? But that just shows you the mindset that Robert DeBarge had. Thomas said that he was known as the hard-headed child. I remember in the book, he had wanted to get a soda pop. And this was said in Bunny DeBarge's book also, but in his book, he said he wanted a soda pop. His mother told him no, he couldn't leave the house. He snuck out the house, went to the store, and he was upset because the store was closed. So he tried to rush back home so his mama wouldn't discover that he was missing. And instead of him looking both ways before he crossed the street, he ended up getting hit by a vehicle, and he ended up hurting his foot. Tommy also talked about how he craved a lot of attention as a child because he felt like Bunny and Bobby received more attention than he did. Bunny was the firstborn daughter and Bobby was the second-born son, and Tommy was behind him. So he felt as though he didn't get the attention he deserved. He also talked about how one time a stranger tried to get him to perform a sexual act on him. Him and the guy got in the guy's vehicle, and the guy tried to get him to perform a sexual act on him. But Tommy luckily got away. Let's see. Tommy also talked about how the mistreatment of all the kids lined up from Randy DeBarge on down. And I know, I know some of the younger siblings are Randy, Mark, James, Chico, and then there's a set of twins. So I guess, what he's trying to say is as his mother had more kids, Robert DeBarge started mistreating all of them less. Now I could relate to this. Tommy talked about, that when he was younger, how he wouldn't fight back. People would just pick at him. But as he got older, he got tired of it, and he started fighting back. And this is something I did not, well, I kind of suspected that he probably did. I'm gonna talk about this. In the book, Tommy talked about how Bobby sexually abused him. First, it just started off with Bobby showing him how to jack off, and then it gradually went to Bobby molesting his brother, you know, performing a sexual act on him. And Tommy talks about how this made him wonder he like women or guys by Bobby, you know, sexually abusing him. He talked about religion. Throughout the whole book, Tommy struggled with religion because he felt as though church people are fake. And I kind of understand where he's coming from, because you know how in a church you have groups of people who believe they are better than others, and they could be doing things worse than the people they're talking about. When it came to music, Tommy talked about how he learned to play the bass guitar, and how in the beginning Bobby made it hard for him. He would tell him to play the guitar a certain way just so he could confuse Tommy. But eventually Tommy caught on, and he became one of the best bass guitarists. Now, when it came to getting out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, at first Bobby and Tommy, they would play in nightclubs in Grand Rapids, Michigan for money. And then next, Bobby joined a group called White Heat. And he told Tommy that once he gets settled, he would send for Tommy. But eventually the group disbanded, and Bobby went back to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And let's see. When the group White Heat made it back to Grand Rapids, Michigan, their bass guitarist quit. And this is what made them let Tommy join the group. Let's see. And then we get into the group Switch. They went from calling themselves White Heat to Switch. And this group consisted of Tommy and Bobby and some other people. And they signed a contract with Motown Records in 1977. Now, this is another part that I did not understand. In Bunny's book, she made out like Tommy's first wife was an angel. But in Tommy's book, he makes her out to be like a devil. Bunny made out like Ducky, his wife, was, she was putting up with a lot with Tommy. She was just taking, and not trying to understand the fact that their relationship was not going to work out. But in his book, he explains that Ducky was not as good as his family thought. He said she would have sex with other men and how she did drugs. And Tommy met her when she was 17. And then the book goes into how the recording contract for Switch was not renewed. Motown let them go. Then Tommy talks about a car accident that him and Chico got into. How the vehicle Chico was driving, he was trying to race with another guy, and they hit a surface of grass and asphalt. The car flipped over 5 times, and Tommy's right hand was demolished to a mere fragment. And the surgery was $150,000. And the doctor declared that Tommy would never play the bass guitar again. And let's see. And in the book, Tommy talks about how he stayed into trouble with the law, how he would get on the road and race with other vehicles, and how he was, arrested for doing drugs. And then at some point, he received a lot of money from that car accident that him and Chico had. And he explained how Miss 𝔹𝕠𝕠𝕜𝕚 took them to court, and the judge gave all his money to his mother because she told the judge that Tommy could not handle having a lot of money like that. And the judge gave her all the money. And I believe Bunny, she explained this also. And Tommy, you know, he went on to talk about how Miss 𝔹𝕠𝕠𝕜𝕚 at this point in time was married to a guy that they called Poppy, and how he wasn't even working, and how she only wanted the money because she was money hungry. Then at some point he meets this girl named April, and April is the sister to one of his friends named Andrew. And when Tommy, well, in the story, Tommy explains that she is 10 years younger than him, and how Andrew, his friend, did not want Tommy around April because he was married to, he was married already. He had 4 children. He had been in jail multiple times, and he was using drugs. And basically, Andrew was trying to say that April was too good for Tommy because she was talented musically and she was intelligent. And then sadly, Tommy goes into talking about Bobby again. He says at this point in time, his brother has just gotten out of prison and he has been diagnosed with AIDS. And then this was like, it was kind of scary to read this. But at this point, him and April are together. And one night she has a dream about a decaying body. She says as she got close to the body, she would smell it. And then a few days later, the police found Ducky's body up under a bridge. Thomas says that she had really got into drugs bad, and how a serial killer took advantage of her and killed her. Okay, and then, you know, Tommy had a son, and this most likely was his oldest child. His name was Little Tommy. And Thomas DeBarge talked about how Little Tommy had started smoking weed and having sex with various girls like he did. So I guess, like they said, the apple don't fall from the tree. And the story ends with Tommy trying to recover from drugs. A pastor lets him move into a church, and this is where he lives for some time so he can recover from doing drugs. And if you read this story, Tommy was on drugs, off drugs, on drugs, off drugs. It was a lot going on in this story. And it's sad that Miss 𝔹𝕠𝕠𝕜𝕚's children, all of them had to go through this. All because she did not protect them. And then in the end, to want to take Tommy's money, you already did them harm by letting their dad abuse them. Why would you want to hurt Tommy some more by taking his money? But, you know, some parents are selfish, and she's one of them. I hope you enjoyed my book review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And rest in peace, Thomas DeBarge. I hope you're getting the peace and love that you deserved. Well, I'm sorry. Again, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.